Hello, beautiful queens, and welcome to day 3 of the Pleasure Queen Festival. And it feels nostalgic already that we're ending today because this whole 2 days, this weekend has felt very much just luscious, drenched in this pleasure goddess energy. We had a beautiful, amazing presentation with Yael Wolf yesterday. So if you missed that, please do go back and watch on the Dark Goddesses. Particularly at this festival, we are also moving through an eclipse portal. We have the full moon Scorpio lunar eclipse. And I know it's visible from the East Coast. I don't think it's visible from the West Coast, but and I'm not sure exactly the time anymore, but if anybody knows, say it. I don't think it matters. To me, eclipse energy is such big, shifting, paradigm changing energy that we always feel it the month before. I mean, I felt, because the first of the series of eclipses, I think, happened April 30th. So I actually started feeling all of these eclipse energies the end of March. And I'm like, so I feel like the way that these portals work is that there is like all this energy coming in, all this change and shift. And at first it feels really intense, but I think as the time goes on, it feels not as intense, or at least like my body is starting to acclimate to the change. And then you start noticing, wow, I'm totally changed. Everything around me has changed. So a really interesting weekend. And just, again, full of so much beauty, and I've really enjoyed it. So we're going to do this again, online and in person. So the in-person workshops, retreats, and festivals will begin in 2023. So we will probably do 1 to 2 more Pleasure Queen online festivals and continue to, build our community and get the word out that this is what we're creating. So again, take a deep breath with me, and we're leaving everything outside. Right now, we're creating our beautiful sacred pleasure vortex, our special temple space, making it sacred, making sure we are making it our time. So this is your time to just soak in all of this ritual, all of these goddess embodiments, all of what Shirley and Aphrodite is going to share. It's going to be super rich. And yeah, awesome. So let me give you the divine itinerary for today. So we're going to open the sacred space to our pleasure vortex. As usual, we'll crown ourselves or use the, the hand gesture to, again, placing on our sovereignty. And then we're going to do a body puja and invocation to call in the goddesses Lalita and Lakshmi of the Hindu pantheon, so we can fully embody erotic sovereignty and infinite abundance, because that's what they represent. So you can have a candle, a pink one, and of course your crown, if you have one. If you are doing the puja objects with us, let's see here, I'll pull them up. I'm not going to try to pull up this tray again because it'll just spill everything. So you can have a piece of fruit or two, because we're also going to be doing some fruit for Venus also. So, Lakshmi, Lalita, Aphrodite, Venus, they're very much connected. So just think of this as, even though we are looking at very specific deities, that the overall pleasure queen sphere of this realm of goddesses is about love, sexuality, sensuality, bringing all of that beauty and abundance in. Okay. And I have like a little tiny cup of water. You can have a bowl or a cup like this. Some incense. And I'll walk you through the puja as well. And then I have a flower. So these are again traditional parts of a puja that they do in India, but we're not going to be doing it in a traditional way. Let's see if there's anything else. And then something that represents abundance to you. I have this cute like metallic gold $100 bill. And then if you want an essential oil, grab that. I'm using Rose Absolute today. I was like, I just want pure rose to go with Shirley Ann Aphrodite because she's always adorned in beautiful red roses. Okay, so after Shirley Ann's presentation, we're going to do, again, a breakout kind of discussion session together. And then we're going to end our day with a ritual to venerate Venus and send our desires and our manifestations out into the world. Okay, in case you weren't here for yesterday or even the first day, I just want to do a quick introduction about who I am. My name is Chris Seraphine, and I'm a channel of the goddess of the divine feminine. And I channel goddess energies and help other women do the same. And I also help them embody the codes of the goddess. We have so many goddesses. So, when I'm doing a personalized journey, I channel in this woman's particular goddess that wants to come through at the moment. So we also have the luminous codes of the 6-dimensional goddess guides that we have been working with this weekend. And that's part of a whole 6-month immersion journey that Yael and Shirley Ann Aphrodite are helping me create. And we are putting this beautiful journey together, which I will be telling you about at the end of the day. What else can I tell you? I'm an author, teacher, coach, and a copywriter and leading archetypal brand strategist. I've worked for some pretty big, well-known brands, Disney, E! Entertainment Television, Paramount Pictures, ABC, Citrix, Perry Ellis, Laundry by Shelley Siegel. Have had a lot of fun in being very entrepreneurial and also working in corporate. I've done both. All right. I want us to begin our sovereignty ritual. I think I'm going to start by lighting a candle. Here. Hands on. As usual, I use my little abalone shell and I just do some drops here. So the candle will stick and stand up on its own. So my pink candle is lit for all of you and for the beautiful, loving goddesses, powerful goddesses that are here with us today that we're calling in. I'm going to take some of my essential oil. I just like to dab a little bit in my palm and inhale. Just like a quick spreading like that. Beautiful. Okay, have your crown ready or your hands ready to do the gesture. It is through the divine pleasure of the 7th dimension we call upon divine pleasure queen council of Isis, Aphrodite, Lilith, Lalita, Lakshmi, and Pele to enter our space, our minds, our souls, and our bodies. Put on your crown. It is through our 7th chakra that your divine sovereignty codes shine through and enter our body. We ask that this happen now with gentleness, ease, and grace. We call to you, O Pleasure Queen Council, holy sovereign divine queens. We anchor your energy into the space for protection and for awakening of our sacred pleasure. to help us find all the pieces of ourselves, the unclaimed and unloved pieces, so that we can call each one back, so we can be whole in our full sovereign power. We are here. We are ready to receive you. As always, spend a moment gazing at yourself, admiring yourself in your own vision. Looking into your eyes, remembering who you are, remembering what this weekend meant for you. Beautiful. Now I want you to look at your other sisters and appreciate their beauty and the reverence of how holy they are. Each one is so sacred. She was born sacred. Each of us was born sacred. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to change. There's no improving. This is not self-help. This is about remembering and then gathering with our sisters. And Shirley Ann, you said this so beautifully yesterday, that the sisterhood, how hungry we are for that support. And again, to drink in each other's beauty and light. So grateful for each of you. Look at the beautiful goddesses here. Nice deep breath. And I think we're ready to begin with our body puja. So I'm going to hold up the picture of Lalita. Lalita is the red goddess of passion, pleasure, playfulness, and laughter. She is one of the most powerful tantric goddesses, who is the bridge between the erotic and the spiritual. She is the consort of the god Shiva, and it is said that she can conquer him with simply a sideways glance. She has a golden bow and 5 arrows, which represent each of the senses. In her paradigm, all of life is sacred, and each of the senses is a gateway to integrate and awaken sacred reverence. So going back to just the simple idea of eating a bowl of oatmeal, eating an apple with reverence, taking time in that moment to be present. That is a ritual. That is making that sacred. That is making yourself sacred, because whatever you're putting in your body, you are becoming. The same with taking a bath, brushing your hair, putting on your makeup. If you don't wear makeup, it doesn't matter. Touching your face in the morning and just looking in the mirror and all of that. So that's what Lalita is all about. So it's infusing everything in life with the sacred energy, with meaning. And that's really how we can bring Goddess Lalita into our space and into our bodies. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is, if you have water and you have your puja objects, you just kind of dip your fingers in the water and then just sprinkle it on the objects, on your plate, on your table, altar, all the little things you have. So this is to purify and cleanse and bless them. You could also take a little dab of the water and tap your crown chakra and your third eye, go down all the way down your chakras. Bless your hands, your chests, whatever you want to do. Okay. If you have a stick of incense, we're going to light that. So dupam is the Sanskrit word for incense, and the element is air. So dupam and the element of air are associated with anahata, the heart. We intuitively bring our hands to our heart. So anahata is actually the heart chakra. Okay, that's the name in Sanskrit, which means the unstruck sound. So whenever we're touched by something, you're always like, ah, it's very visceral, even though it's the element of air. This element air is what circulates through the heart, through the blood, and the blood takes the oxygen throughout the body and nourishes the body. So dew palm is a touch that is physical and emotional, because touch conveys emotion, right? More than words. Sometimes, you just want to hug somebody, or you want to hold their hand, or even just touch their hand or touch their arm. And then you see them immediately just kind of relax, right? The sense of touch is so important. So I'm going to light my incense here. I'm just using myrrh. So offering incense, we offer touch, we offer our emotions, we offer our heart. We set feedback loops of ecstasy and motion and become devotion itself. And what was invisible takes form, like the smoke, right? So I like to just take my incense and then I just swirl it around in circles around the different objects that I'm using for the puja on my altar. And I'll do myself. Stop here. Okay, I'm going to put my incense in this little thing here. Yep. Okay. So now we're going to offer pushpam, which means flowers in Sanskrit. So I'm just going to pick one of the flowers off of here, but you could have flower petals too. That's very common. So the flowers represent the sense of hearing. Interesting, right? Sense of hearing, space, Vishuddha, which is the throat chakra. So flowers, oh, these smell lovely. I just found them in the front yard in our building. Flowers have an ethereal nature. So an offering to the space, the element that contains all other elements. So you might want to first, smell it and then gaze at its beauty, remembering you are the embodiment of joy, laughter, and playfulness. So place first on your throat chakra, the place where we speak our truth, sing a song, or chant mantras. These are the gateways to heaven. The sounds we use to bridge the gap, and then bring it to your heart for lightness. Place them back on your tray. And now you can pick up your fruit offering. And hold in your mind's eye, close your eyes, and hold in your mind's eye the sweetness you're calling into your life. And imagine that you're infusing it in this piece of fruit. And then we're going to incorporate this manifestation in the here and now by taking a bite. Okay. So that's basically more maybe a communion of the goddess, kind of combined with some of the central ideas of a puja. But in a puja, you don't eat the fruit. It's very different. So just want to make that clear. Beautiful. So today we're also calling in Lakshmi. She's so beautiful. And Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance, the goddess of prosperity. She is here very, very much present in our homes, especially. She is definitely a mother, wife, consort goddess. We don't really think too much about Lakshmi as independent, or she's definitely not rebellious. although I'm sure she could be if she wanted to. So her purpose in our council is to make pleasure, to make abundance, prosperity sustainable and easy, and make it a flow. So on this card, it says, I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. Wealth, beauty, happiness, joy, it always starts with us. It doesn't come from outside. So this is why, again, it's so important to gather and to come into this awareness and pleasure practices of being with the goddess in ritual. And again, just the simple everyday acts of life. Okay, so I'm going to say the Lakshmi mantra 3 times. And let me paste it in the chat. And, Sanskrit is very different. So I'm not expecting you to know it or to even join along if you don't feel comfortable. But I'll tell you a little bit about the words. So Om Shrim Maha Lakshmiye Namaha. So Namaha is a greeting. It's like, I greet you with reverence. Om is, the sacred sound that creates the universe. Shrim is a particular seed bija syllable that represents Lakshmi. It's basically Shrim is auspicious, abundant, magnificent. Maha is also mother, big, Maha, the great one. And Lakshmi is obviously, that one's pretty self-explanatory. So Om Shrim Maha Lakshmiye Namaha. So I'm going to just say it 3 times. I'll leave space if you want to repeat it after me. But again, you could just close your eyes and be in reverence right now. Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Lakshmi, we call upon you now, inviting you into every aspect of our lives, into every cell of our bodies. You who are as golden and as bright as the sun, as fertile as the dark, muddy void of the womb from which the lotus you sit upon of radiance and beauty unfolds, expands, and takes deep root. I now anoint myself with your fragrance of divine beauty, love, regality, and prosperity. I offer to you all of the beauty within me that I offer to the world in my deepest service. I'm now ready to rise up and step into my priestess power. I'm here to give exceptional and sublime service to all who come to me, and I fully receive divine compensation for my sacred work right here, right now. I release all the shame and guilt and any old contracts of limitation, lack, and vows of poverty in all time, spaces, and dimensions. Anyone or anything that has held me back from my true worth and calling in the past is now dissolved and released with love and ease. Lakshmi, help me move past all of my fears and doubts so I can shift into a woman who completely trusts herself and her connection to higher knowledge and wisdom. Right now, in this very moment, I'm healed and revitalized, and I can move into the world with joy, confidence, and bliss. With you in my life, body, and business, relationships, in my home. Oh, beautiful Lakshmi, I am whole and perfected in my true essence as woman divine. And so it is. Beautiful. Okay, Shirley Ann, I'm going to let you take over here.
You're muted. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to begin? Ready? Okay. Well, hello, my beautiful queens. I am so honored and happy to be here with you today. My name is Shirley-Ann Aphrodite. I am Aphrodite, mother, wife, friend, sister, daughter. Professionally, I've done a lot of things. I'm a fashion designer, interior designer, wedding designer, photographer, muse, artist, writer, and probably some other things I don't remember right now. Throughout my entire career, all that I've done has been in service to beauty and to romance, even when I wasn't aware of it. I remember the days when I designed clothes for women. My greatest delight came when their spouses or their lovers saw them and you could see the joy, the radiance in their eyes. So it wasn't enough. Yes, I enjoyed a woman experiencing her beauty, coming to the fitting room, trying on clothes and jumping up and down like a little girl. But where I felt the true satisfaction was when this beauty was witnessed by the one who loved her. For me, that was where my fulfillment came from, even when I wasn't aware of these words and these ideals. And so, yes, all of my work has been in service to romance through beauty. Aphrodite. I believe I've always been her. I've always been this person. I have always been feminine, devoted to beauty, to romance, and all of the above. Obviously, this is why I chose my career. However, there was a time in my life, this was after getting married, moving to America, having my son, I felt such a deep sense of disconnection from myself and from life and from all that I knew to be true. And in hindsight, I was sick and I actually thought I was going to die. There was something happening with my heart, this murmur in my heart, and I went for tests. You know, the doctors couldn't find anything. Looking back, I was brokenhearted, but I didn't know. And just to show the poignancy of this time in my life, I wrote to my best friend, who was my son's godmother. And I sent a handwritten letter, not an email. And I said, if anything happened to me, for her to take care of my son. I share this because of the depths of my sorrow and despair. I really thought I was going to die. Around the time, I was in a branding course because I was also looking for this identity of self, and I thought it all rested in being a business person because that was all I knew. And so I was in a branding course and I was introduced to the archetypes. I've always known about Greek mythology, but I had never connected it to business and the archetypes. And so in the course, there was a quiz. I almost didn't take the quiz because I know I'm creative and I thought I would be the creator archetype. And then I went with an open mind and I took the quiz and I was the lover. I had never heard about the lover brand. I had never heard about the lover being described in the way it had been. And as I read the descriptions, oh my God, I felt a sense of homecoming. I felt a sense of, it felt like the clearest mirror I could ever observe myself in and through. And so I became obsessed. I bought all the books I could find. I read everything I could find about the lover. And the more I read, the more I healed. This is why I said it was a broken heart that I was suffering from. And as I continued, I discovered Aphrodite or Venus. And as I read about her, I felt I was reading about myself. Not just experiences I've had in my life, but my soul, my spirit, my essence. All the things that I had been criticized and mocked and judged for were being affirmed to me in a way that I had never experienced ever in my life. And so I chose to name myself Aphrodite as a way to remember, as a way to identify myself, as a way to be in the world, as a way to present myself, as a way to show you upon meeting me all that I value, cherish, and hold above all. And so this is my story, as briefly as I can put it, about becoming Aphrodite and devoting my life to all that she represents. In popular culture, Aphrodite is only seen as a sex goddess, which annoys me, right? Because there's so much more to what she represents. Yes, she represents love, beauty, femininity, procreation, but she also represents alchemy and magic and transformation. So as I bring forth the idea of Aphrodite today, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to your heart, to your heart of hearts, the hearts that you do not show anyone. It's an invitation to love. It's an invitation to the truth of who you are as a woman. It's an invitation to your deepest desires, because this transformation I speak about stems from desire. Deep, true, honest desire. This is the invitation Aphrodite presents to us. And through these desires and the acknowledging of the desires, the loving of the desires, the embodiment of the desires, pleasure is experienced. Because I do not see how pleasure can be experienced without desire. Right? That which we desire, when we answer to, or we embody, or we seek, it becomes pleasure. Desire and pleasure are connected. I believe my invitation to us today, our little exercise, stems from the components of manifestation. How do we bring our desires to life? How do we experience pleasure as we bring these desires to life? I believe everything that has been created in the world was created multiple times. It started with an idea. Then maybe it became the written word. And then probably it became in my opinion, a work of art. And after it became a work of art, then maybe it became manifest in the physical. And so my invitation to us today is to tap into our deepest desires as women and to speak these desires, if you choose or not, and then bring them to life in the form of the written word, a tangible physical object, which in my opinion is the desire made manifest in physical form on the path to what we actually desire to experience through pleasure in the fullest of the physical form. And so my invitation to us today is to write a love letter. What kind of love letter are we going to write? We're going to write a love letter to the woman who is the manifestation of our desire. Because we will become the manifestation of our desire and experience the pleasure of her by becoming her. But if we don't know who she is, if we don't know who we desire to become, if we don't know the pleasure that we are seeking to experience, how can we experience all of the above? And so with our limited time, because I also want to stay on track, I don't want to go over time, I would like you, well, I'm going to take you through a very brief visualization or meditation. But before that, think about a lover. And it doesn't matter who the lover is. The lover could be a man. It could be a woman. It could be life. Life is my greatest lover. I like to live my life as I am making love to life in every moment. So if life is my lover and life is writing a love letter to me, who is the woman that life is writing this love letter to? What is life loving about me? What is life admiring about me? What makes life passionate about me? Who is this woman that life is mad about? I would like you to think of the aspects of yourself which you already are and which you long to become, and write a love letter from life or whoever you choose to this woman. We are living in a fairly new age, the age of technology. But throughout the ages, love letters are objects that women have held sacred and dear. When you go throughout history, we learn about a woman through, how many women journaled before our era, right? We learn about a woman through her correspondences. We learn how many movies haven't we watched or stories where we learned about a woman's deepest desires, her secrets, all of the above, through the letters, through the correspondence. And so I'm inviting us to go back to a practice which has shown us who women have been throughout the ages, which is letter writing, right? And if you take me up on this offer, I would love for you to, after our time, to find a beautiful piece of paper or stationery and write this beautiful letter after I've given you the prompts. and adorn it with rose petals or, perfume or art, whatever you choose, and leave it in plain sight. It could be on your dressing table, on your desk. And from time to time, pick it up and read this love letter that life has written to you or your lover has written to you, affirming, admiring all these aspects of yourself which you are and which you desire to become. So and one last thing I want to say before we write these love letters is the conversation about beauty. In my own work, sometimes I'm even afraid to talk about beauty because it's become a very polarizing conversation. But here's my invitation to you when it comes to beauty. When you wake up in the morning, you are going to wash your face, brush your teeth, take a shower, whatever you do anyway. So why not make it beautiful? You are going to have meals, you're going to eat, you're going to cook anyway. So why not take the time to make it beautiful? You are going to adorn yourself. You're going to wear clothes anyway. You're not going to walk around naked. So why not make it beautiful? You're going to live in a home. You're going to lie on a bed. Why not make it beautiful? For me, these beautiful things around us, I consider to be mirrors. Because in our society, we put a lot of pressure on simply the physical form, whether it's our body type, our shape, the color of our skin. There's so much pressure on these objects. Beauty is to be experienced in so many ways. And so as you surround yourself with these things that I just described, the way these rituals, the way you wash your face, the way you adorn yourself, the way you adorn your space, they become mirrors which reflect your beauty back to you. And the more you put, even the letter I'm talking about, the more you put these mirrors all around you, you feel beautiful. Even when you're naked, even without a stitch of makeup, because of the beauty you have surrounded yourself with, which become reflections of your own beauty back to you. Beauty permeates every aspect of your life and now becomes second nature and becomes natural. So this is my brief presentation. And my prompt is simple, really, to write a beautiful love letter. You don't have to share it. A truthful love letter to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That was so beautiful. I was putting my rose oil on while you were talking. I'm like, I felt like I needed, more. I talked about this yesterday, that appetite for beauty has no bounds, right? And it doesn't always mean you have to buy expensive things or, like you said, put on makeup. It's, a bite of fruit. It's touching yourself and just, yeah, so beautiful. Okay, so I would say, should we do 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes for writing and come back and share?
Writing and whatever came up for you as.
Because yeah, I'm sure, we're not going to be able to write a full love letter in that time period. We could at least think about all of what's come up for us during your talk and really write that down, and that could become pieces of our love letter. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's come back and talk about all this amazing thoughts and feelings that have come up. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute if you want to share your thoughts. And I'm going to pause the recording. Well, we had a beautiful breakout session, and some of the themes that came up were one of the last themes that came up was pleasure begets pleasure and beauty begets beauty. And the whole idea of, for me, was really tapping into my heart to find where those desires are as opposed to what they are up here, because they're different. And, up here, it's the very distinct, deliberate numbers and, when they talk about manifesting, and it's so funny because it's like, yeah, I was very much in here and not really dropping into my heart. And the minute I dropped into my heart, it was, oh, I want to feel the joy of being in my lover's arms, the joy of stroking my daughter's hair. I just want to feel my own heart. I want to expand in that and expand in that space, right? Just instead of the go, go, go and feeling exhausted, I just want to move slow like honey. I don't want to be rushed, right?
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Shirley and Aphrodite. That was really, really beautiful and so needed. Even when you're the leader of the Pleasure Queen Festival. And maybe I need it more than anybody else, who knows? But I think we're all, we don't need to compete around who needs more pleasure. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between God and goddess, right? Because they're both divine. They're both amazing and powerful. We need them both. But when in many representations of gods or masculine, sacred masculine divinities, it's about transcendence, which is beautiful. It's needed. It's all about transcending and becoming, and it can be very heroic. It's different than the feminine. So when we think of the divine goddesses and feminine divinity, the word that they use is to represent that is immanence, which is inward. Transcendence is, but immanence is here. Immanence is like so intimate. I was looking it up on Wikipedia or whatever, the online dictionary, and it says the doctrine or theory of immanence holds that the divine encompasses or is manifested in the material world. It is held by some philosophical and metaphysical theories of divine presence. So it's just when we have that moment where we're always reaching for something out here, that's a pretty good indication that we are in our masculine. Nothing wrong with that. But being aware of it and going, what's going on in the heart? What's going on in here? What's going on in the body? What's going on in the womb and the gut? And, for men too, they, coming to their hearts, not saying that that's not godlike or not manly or whatever. We're not talking about making gender specific roles, etc. We're just talking about what the energy represents. So yeah, I just, I really love your whole theory. We're going to and so I'm going to talk about, what you talked about, Shirley, and again, in a more masculine theoretical way, because why not get this from all angles? Life as lover, and maybe you want to break that down, take a couple of minutes to break that down a little bit.
Be specific, break it down in which direction.
So life as lover, give us an example.
I use different words because certain words have lost their meaning for me. But really, when you think about life as the lover, it's about being sacred with everything, right? It's about, I even wrote about this recently. It's like the difference between having sex and making love, right?
Yeah.
To have that interaction with life. When you're making love, you're present, your emotions are connected, it's intimate, your hearts are connected. Having sex, yes, it could be wild and passionate, but it's mechanical, it's physical. You know, sometimes if you are capable, there are no emotions involved. There's no presence, it's not sacred, right? And it's not that black and white, but I'm just using these as references. And so when life is your lover, if you truly can see life as your lover, life adores you, life loves you, life cherishes you, how will you move through life?
Yeah, I know. I spoke about, I really want to move like honey. I don't want to rush around. I want to be
Yes,
like, that is like living in romance, right?
absolutely.
Which is what you,
Absolutely.
so much of
Because,
what you were talking about to me.
and we're all business owners here, right? This is not about saying, oh, I'm just going to lie in bed all day and everything will happen. That's not what we're saying, but you can do the same thing, but with a different energy, right? You can accomplish, but with presence, with sacredness, with devotion. It's a way of being.
Yes.
And as you are being, I promise you, look, I've been on both sides, you know it. I've been on this side and I've been on this side. Life will respond back to you in the way that you engage with life.
I'll take it. I'm going to approach life very differently today. And I just think, again, to have this sisterhood to come back to, because how am I going to remember to do this? I think that was kind of like a fear I was thinking about. I love the idea of, really writing myself a love letter on a beautiful piece of stationery. I think I'm going to actually make a few copies and put them in the mail. Maybe at different times, or maybe give
one.
different
Oh,
people
I'm
and then mail
sorry.
it to myself,
I
right?
forgot. That was my final list. You see, I wasn't nervous, but I forgot half of
You're
what.
in the flow.
Yeah, but I was going to suggest to write one and mail it to yourself with the slowest mail possible, like the lowest, the lowest class possible, so that it takes a while to come back to you. Because we forget. We forget. Life, modern life will pull you out of the vortex, right? And this is why we need what we're creating.
Yeah.
Remembrance. Some of us, I won't say I'm lucky, I have been through the fire. The kind of pain and fire I've experienced, I'm not saying you haven't, but I know what I have. And because of that, I am fierce about staying in the vortex, right? And obviously, this is why it's my work to bring people into the vortex, but life will pull you with a phone call, one word from someone, something on TV, it'll zap you out of it. And so, again, this is why I love what I call the mirrors, the touchstones in your life, all around you, the physical things, art, poetry, books, photography, roses, all these things, so that when life is, zapping out of it, these things remind you and bring you back.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. So I want to call in. We're going to do a big Venus invocation. And then we're going to chant the song of the Siren, which is perfect because we really were able to, with Shirley and Aphrodite's help, to come into that heart space and feel into what we truly desire. And so the song of the Siren is basically like you are calling out to your lover. So it couldn't be more perfect. Life is lover. It's all going to connect in ways that we didn't even plan. I love. Okay. So this is one of the favorite pages in my Love Grimoire. And I know I've showed this maybe multiple times in different classes, but I don't know if everybody's seen it. So I just, one of the things that Shirley Ann in our 6-month Pleasure Queen Immersion is going to be walking us through creating an art journal grimoire magical book. So this is an invocation to Aphrodite written by Sappho. She was a poet and a priestess of Aphrodite back in 6th, 7th century BCE. Okay. So this is something that's been chanted for many thousands of years. So this is directly in the lineage of Aphrodite. So I would say, put your hands over your heart. Take some deep breaths in. And as I read each part of this invocation, build the visual of it in your mind because it's very visual. And this is about making your body the altar, making your body the temple of Aphrodite. Leave Crete, come here, come to the holy place, come to the sacred grove. Your altars are smoking with incense. Cold water sings through the fruited trees. Everything is shaded under the bower of roses. And from the shimmering radiance of leaves, an enchanted sleep drops down. Here is a meadow of spring flowers where horses graze and a soft wind gently breathes. Now open up your palms towards the sky, offering up yourself as the temple space of the sacred, of the goddess of Aphrodite. Come, Aphrodite, pour your nectar into our golden cups. In grace, make the libation and bring your Melissas to life. The Melissas were the names of the priestesses of Aphrodite. It also means honeybee in Greek. We are the Melissa. We are the temple. We are the beautiful golden cups, the vessels of nectar. So feel that nectar flowing to you, through you. It just overflows in you. And it's not even about letting it flow through you or giving it to anybody. It just simply is. You are the fountain of that golden nectar of the goddess of Aphrodite. You are the lover of life, and life is your lover. There is no separation. That is who you were born to be, and that is who you are. So keep your eyes closed, and I'm going to chant the song of the Siren. And this is a beautiful incantation poetic spell written by Yael Wolf. I call out to you my deepest heart's desire into the depths of the sea, into the darkness of night. Hear my voice, come to me, I am ready. I invite you to rush upon me like the tide, tentative like a gentle foamy wave, or sweeping like a surge, overwhelmed with desire to caress the sandy shore. I am ready. I reach for you in desire, but patient, knowing you will find me. You will follow my song. My arms are outstretched in faith. I am ready. I embrace you against my yielding flesh. I feel the nourishment of my own love flow through you and back to me, even before you have arrived. I am ready. And so it is, so shall it be. I say.
Mm. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Yael, you wrote that.
That's beautiful.
I don't even remember writing that. When did I?
I hired you to write this. I'm like, I want you to write this spell for me because I feel like I gave you basically my basic ideas for it. And I was like, I feel like you're supposed to write this for me. And every lover, everything in my life that I have manifested, I use that spell all the time. It's so powerful.
I legitimately felt like crying while you were reading it because I don't remember writing it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I wrote it.
Well, I think that probably could be an introduction to our Pleasure Queen book, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. It has to be on the first page.
Yeah. Thank you.
Isn't it the most beautiful?
Oh my God. It just makes me feel like I'm remembering a part of myself, you know?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm.
I love you so much, ladies. So I want to take this beautiful divine energy before we jump off and then take the next 5 minutes just to do a walkthrough of the 6-month immersion journey. Is that okay with you? So just 5 minutes or so? Great. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I couldn't be more pleasured that Yael and Shirley Ann Aphrodite are doing this with me. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a 6-month immersion, and this is the journey and the copyright notice. So welcome, Pleasure Queen. This is your time. Claim it and move through the program by following this map of the journey from dim damsel to radiant ruler of your life and business. I can't wait to see your light expand as you truly take up space unapologetically. You are not broken and you do not need to be fixed. This is about becoming fully embodied in your goddess essence and creating your own pleasure. You will radiate and change the molecules in any room you walk into. That is the power of the Pleasure Queen 6-month journey. I don't know, I've been feeling that power ever since Yael and Shirley Ann presented. This has been incredible. So this is how you would move through it. So the first month is all about Isis and sex magic, yoni womb magic. And we're going to do some tantric breathing, some ritual embodiments to draw the sacred serpent kundalini energy up from the earth. And we're also, there are 6 modules that are really devoted to prosperity consciousness. So in this first month, you would go through the first 3. And we go through it as a group. We meet once a week for Q&A. And that's like an hour and a half. I think I'm going to do it Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And then, you know, all the modules are basically there. People can move forwards any way they want to, move through the material, but this is the way that we're going to work it together. We're going to do some sex magic alchemy with the god and the goddess to balance the masculine and feminine. and bring together Isis and Osiris and work with them in that first half. And probably we created this before I had Shirley Ann's modules. So I think we'll probably have, the beginnings of creating your love grimoire. So maybe we'll begin with a love letter from life, or however it's going to be done by Shirley Ann. So once we have that, we'll add it to the journey map. So month 2 is basically your body's the portal to pleasure and abundance. And Lalita is all about that bridge between the body and the spirit, eros, sexuality, and the spirituality of this, again, idea of immanence. And so we're going to go through all of the Lolita code initiations, and then we'll complete the second half of the prosperity consciousness modules. And then we'll have another sex magic ritual to celebrate Lalita and Shiva coming together as the divine feminine and masculine. Month 3 is all devoted to Aphrodite. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of Shirley's input in this. So we're going to activate our flow as we release old patriarchal business paradigms and allow the Aphrodite essence to infuse your own priorities into the forefront. So we're going to do Aphrodite codes and gentle body prayer movement to open the heart, because remember, going back to the heart is what we're aiming for on this daily basis, and remembering to do that for ourselves. A ritual embodiment to invoke the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And then we begin the beautiful modules that Yael created. So this is called Who Are You, Pleasure Queen? So this is really about, and we're, not saying that you couldn't start it sooner than month 3, but month 3, you also will begin your one-on-one goddess illuminated sessions with me. So you will have one-on-one sessions with me starting in month 3. And we're going to bring in Yael's work, because it's going to, again, it's going to bring up that wholeness, the shadow, the dark goddess. And I think by this time in the journey, we'll all be more ready to really go into that, because we talked about this before. There's a lot of fear around pleasure and desire. So the first 2 months are really dedicated to how can we feel comfortable in this container that we're creating for ourselves, right? So we're really going to go through those modules with Yael in depth and really holding you. And you, like I said, you'll have one-on-ones with me. So for month 3, 4, so yeah, 3, 4, and 5, you'll have one-on-one sessions where I channel for you. I bring in your own personalized goddess, where I create a ritual for you, a daily ritual, and also a guided activation meditation. And so our sex magic alchemy number 3 is Ariadne and Dionysus for that. So again, another ritual to bring in the masculine and feminine. And there are aspects of this journey that incorporate the business goddess in you. So we get into that in month 4. We really bring in Lakshmi. She is the goddess to petition for financial wealth, radiance, and ease. And we worked with Lakshmi this weekend. So you got a little taste of her and her energy. And this is where we're going to begin also some pleasure practices from my course Unbound that I've rewritten and will be included in this. And we're also going to be working through how to be the CEO of pleasure, not the CEO of pressure. Yes, we need that, right? So we're going to be working on those modules. In month 5, we're bringing in Pele. So she is all about really earth-shaking, like breakthroughs, breaking out of really old paradigms so you can get into that higher level of your life and that higher vision of your life, and really ground it in reality. And really, I feel like Pele is a big, action. This is going to be a big action, as well as the Lilith comes in month 6. We finally get to Lilith. And again, this is very much, okay, we're ready to like birth ourselves, rebirth. So she is uncompromising and how to take up space unapologetically and just, yeah, no more pussyfooting around, say it like it is, be yourself. And I feel like these last 2 months are really about more, how do I, now that I have all these beautiful practices to be immanent and present in the romance of my life and in my own beauty. And now, boom, I take it out in the world. And now I have the strength, I have the boundaries created. I know I could take my sovereign self out and do what I need to do. So this is what's included. And I am really excited to say that we are going to be ready to receive you in the program. Beginning, I believe our beginning week is May 24th. So in a couple of weeks. So I'm really, really excited, and we're all really excited. The three of us, it's a trio of amazing goddesses, and you will get more information starting Monday, starting tomorrow. And what we'd love to do is, you know, have you like really commit to yourself. So one of the ways you could do that is to get in touch with me. You could DM me, you can email me and let me know when you want to have a chat, and let's talk about how to help you really stay with this program, right? Keep with this goddess beauty and energy, and not forget everything that we've conjured and experienced together. And again, have this beautiful sisterhood. I also have a link. If you go to Biz Goddess Chat, BIZ, goddesschat.com, you can definitely set up just a short 20-minute, half-hour talk with me, and we can just look at where you are in your life right now, where you want to be, and see, you know, how this whole immersion and my work can be a fit for you. And I'm also offering a fast action bonus that if you sign up for the program by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning Pacific, I will give 3 extra one-on-one goddess illuminated sessions that I spoke about, where I channel in your personalized goddess, not the goddesses that are part of the program, but your goddess that's personally coming through. And then I create a beautiful ritual for you to do all month long and a guided meditation. And then we meet for 2 half-hour sessions in the month. So basically it would mean that you get 6 total, because 3 come with the program, but then you would get from month 1 all the way through month 6, 2 sessions a month with me. So that's the little sweetness that I wanted to add in for you if you decide to really, again, commit to yourself, commit to making a change. And of course, we're all 3 of us are here. If you need anything, get in touch. And I will definitely be sending out Yael's information, Shirley Ann Aphrodite's information as well. And we can all stay in this beautiful sisterhood. And my thought for next steps would be for our Pleasure Queen festival to be in probably around Halloween time, which is called Samhain, very magical time. So that's like late October, early November. So we will be coming back together for that with more beautiful goodness. Thank you so much, ladies. Yael and Shirley Ann, did you want to add anything in before we jump off?
I just want to quickly thank you for arranging all of this, and everybody who came and everyone who's watching the replays. This has just been really amazing for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. So excited to have you part of this. It's been a long time coming. You've been around my world.
Yeah.
Seen it all.
Yeah, I would also like to say thank you. This feels like a remembrance. So, thank you.
Yes, we planted a powerful seed. It feels really powerful. Yay, amazing. Okay, until next time, Pleasure Queens, sending you lots of love. Thank you, Deepti, for being here. Thank you for sharing your website with us and your beauty with us. Okay, bye.